Hello everyone. So in MCQ series, chapter wise MCQs we are going to do. So today's chapter is bone. So let's begin. So the question is longest bone in human body is. So as we know that tibia is second largest bone but not the longest one, and femur is the thigh bone which is the longest bone and the strongest bone in the body, and it supports body weight. Whereas humerus it is long bone of arm, and fibula it is thin bone of lower leg. So basically why we are doing these series, it is because we will learn through MCQs. We will solve n number of MCQs of each chapter, and we'll get, for example, this is an MCQ. So इसके साथ हमारे और 3 कॉन्सेप्ट क्लियर हो रहे हैं. जो एक्चुअल आंसर है वो उसका तो कॉन्सेप्ट क्लियर हो ही रहा है, उसके साथ बाकी सारे आंसर इसके आंसर क्यों नहीं है और वो किस चीज़ का आंसर है वो हमें थ्रू एलिमिनेशन मेथड सीखने मिलेगा. सो वी कैन revise in such a way that we get to know all the concepts, and it is easy to remember also when you learn like this. Okay, next question is smallest bone in human body is meniscus is middle ear bone but it is larger, and malleus it is also a near bone but larger, and hyoid is located in neck but it is not the smallest one. So the answer is stapes. Stapes are tiny bone in middle ear and is smallest bone in the body. So the study of bone is called osteology, and archaeology it is study of joints, myology it is study of muscles, and histology is the study of tissues. So we have to remember all of these because it can also be asked in the upcoming chapters. Total number of bones in an adult it is 206. The rest other numbers are just to confuse. Next, bone forming cells are known as osteoblast, whereas osteocytes is mature bone cells, osteoclasts are bone destroying cells, and chondrocytes are cartilage cells. The bone destroying cells are exactly that I said that these MCQ series is because we should know that what is the answer and why other options are not the answer, because they can ask as individually. So here we can see the bone destroying cells are osteoclasts. Osteoclasts break down the bone tissue during the bone remodeling. Osteoblast is the building bone, osteocytes are they maintain the bone, and fibrocytes are connective cell tissues. Next, hard outer covering of bone is periosteum, fibrous membrane covering the outer surface of bones. Endosteum it is the inner lining of the bone cavity, and cartilage is a flexible tissue, and marrow is which is present inside the bone. The shaft of long bone is called diaphysis. Diaphysis is long central shaft of the bone. Epiphysis is end of the bone, and metaphysis is growth plate area which is present, and medullary cavity it is the hollow cavity. So the structure of long bone is something like this. So the middle part, this part is known as shaft, which is also known as diaphysis, and the upper two parts there is two epiphyses which are present in a adult long bone I am talking about, or long bone you can say. Okay, end of long bones are called epiphyses. As I said, these are the end of the bone which are known as epiphyses. Epiphyses form the expanded ends of the long bone, whereas diaphysis is known as shaft. Metaphysis is placed between the shaft and epiphysis. Here we can see such kind of a diagram also. This is also a structure of adult long bone. Between the shaft and the epiphysis comes our metaphysis. Then periosteum it is the covering of membrane. Spongy bone is also called cancellous bone. Compact bone is has a dense it is a dense outer bone. Cortical bone it is another name for compact bone only, and laminar bone is a microscopic structure. Compact bone is mainly found in outer layer of bone because it is a dense outer bone. We know compact bone forms the strong outer layer of bones. Bone marrow it is the inside cavity which is present. Joints are articulation area, and cartilage is different tissue. The bone marrow cavity is called as medullary cavity. It contains the bone marrow. Epiphyseal plate it is a growth plate, and canalicus and lacuna they are microscopic structure of bone. Yellow bone marrow stores fat, whereas blood cells they are produced by red marrow, and calcium and protein are not stored in marrow. The red bone marrow function is to form the blood cell. So blood cell formation, it performs hematopoiesis, which is basically the formation of blood cell. Fat storage is done by yellow marrow. Hormone production is done by endocrine glands, and oxygen transport is done by RBCs. Flat bone example is skull. Skull bones are flat bones. Femur, tibula, and humerus, they are all long bones. Sesamoid bones develop in tendons. The sesamoid bones forms inside tendon, for example, patella. Then ligaments, they connect bone to bone. Muscles, they are contractile tissue, and cartilage is a flexible tissue. Largest sesamoid bone is patella. Patella, also known as kneecap, is the largest sesamoid bone, whereas talus and cancellus are ankle bones, and scapula is the flat bone. Bone stores which mineral mainly? Bone stores calcium and phosphorus. So sodium and potassium are mainly the body fluids that are present, and iron is stored in liver. The process of bone formation is called as ossification, and calcification, it is the calcium deposition which happens, and mineralization is general mineral deposition which happens, and osteolysis, it is the bone breakdown. Intramembranous ossification forms the flat bones of skull. So intramembranous ossification forms flat bone of skull and clavicle, and long bones, femur, and vertebrae, they are all endochondral kind of a ossification. Endochondral ossification forms long bones. Endochondral ossification from long bones, for example, like femur and humerus. Skull and facial bones, they are mostly intramembranous kind of ossification. Growth plate is called epiphyseal plate. Epiphyseal plate allows bone to grow in length. Periosteum, it is the outer covering of the bone, and endosteum, it is the inner lining of the bone, and osteon, it is the structural unit. Structural unit of a compact bone is osteon. Osteon also, which is present in Havassian system, is the structural unit of compact bone. Lacuna, it is the cavity containing osteocytes. Canalicus, it is the small channels which are present, and trabecula, it is the spongy bone structure. Trabecula are found in spongy bone. Compact bone, it is found in osteons. It is the structural unit of compact bone. And cartilage and ligaments, they are different kind of a tissues. Havassian canal contains nerves and blood vessels to nourish the bone. Cartilage cells, they contain chondrocytes, and flat cells has adipose tissue, whereas muscle fibers has muscle tissue. That is for the first part of this MCQ series of bone. Meet you in the next one. Keep studying. I hope this helps you. Do practice. Thank you. Meet you in the next one.